like my whole mentality when going back into exercising and everything, it's I'm doing what's comfortable for me. I'm not like trying to like go like make it way over complex or trying to break it down way unnecessary and just kind of like killing my own interest in the process. I just kind of went in with the mentality that I'm going to do what's comfortable for me, and I'm just kind of go from there. And like I'm starting to see progression now, and I'm like trying to find the balance between everything, because what I actually did to try to find the balance between like trying to handle everything else, social media, going just, basic bullshit online and everything, while also trying to keep my physical health in a priority as well, is that
Hmm.
I laid out my daily schedule as like 24 hours. So I just marked it out entirely, figure out what times I do have available that I'm in. Like for example, I have like 4 or 5 hours out of every day that generally free time. Now
Hmm.
I'll have a bad habit of instead using that free time to just bullshit, watch YouTube videos and stuff like that. But by laying out the 24 hours, it kind of cuts out the excuse of like, oh, I never have time to work out, get into shape and stuff like that. So that kind of helped me find the balance between that.
Yeah, and that's one of the hardest things. And if you have some type of fitness activity that you really do enjoy, and it seems like leisure time, which is a very hard transition to make,
Yeah.
to see like going and doing jump rope for 10 minutes is like, I like that's fun. It's the same enjoyment level as like sitting down and playing a game of COD or
Right.
logging into World of Warcraft or something. Like that's a very hard transition to make. So for most people, I think they would be having the same issue as you, and doing whatever you can to find that balance. And just the longer you do it, the more normal it will become, and the
Yeah.
more likely that that transition can happen, right? Um, but for anyone looking for something like super simple, Pavel Satsulin, the spelling is kind of weird. Maybe you can overlay the spelling on the screen or put it in the description later on. But
Yeah.
he's from Russia, and
Okay.
his whole thing is simple and effective. And honestly, like right now, I'm trying to do this new plan where I work out 3 times a day, but they're only 20-minute workouts. And the
Right.
first one's a push workout, the second one's a pull, and then the third one's gonna be a leg. So over the whole day, it's only an hour of exercise, but they're just little blocks,
Right.
and whatever I'm doing that day is something that I'm interested in. So I, for some reason, overhead press has just been circling through my mind. So it's very interesting to me. It's very relevant. So I just go in there, do an overhead press workout, and then call it good, eat a meal, and then whatever, 3 4 hours later, I wanted to do some bent over rows. So I did bent over rows, and it just, whatever seems cool to me, right?
Right.
That's the easiest thing to do, is whatever seems cool to you. And um it's something that I got caught in for a long time, is like listening to these YouTube influencers try to sell me like a specific plan, like this is the
Yeah.
one that's going to work. You only need this workout and you'll see a massive amount of success. That could be true if you did that one workout for 20 years and you got so good at it that you were, one of the top in the world.
Hmm.
You're going to be in really great shape, but not everybody might love that workout. I mean, for example,
Yeah.
kettlebell swings. I got really stuck on kettlebell swings for about 6 months, and that's a great workout. But after 6 months, I was pretty bored of it.
Yeah.
So if you can get used to just, going from one thing to another, not getting so dogmatic and attached to one thing,
Or
it
making it
might
too
bode well.
complicated.
Yeah. Yeah. And just going with the flow, because it's okay to get bored. Yeah. I
Yeah.
used to get really down on myself and be like, oh man, I've been doing this plan for 3 months already. Like, I think I'm just going to give it up because it's not even interesting anymore. But that's the exact time to hop on another plan, and like maybe find something else cool that you can get into. Or if you've
Yeah.
been doing strength for 3 months, do cardio, all that type of stuff. So, um, yeah, it's real difficult. And I battled with it for a long time, listening to other people for too much uh, advice that I should have been taking for myself, honestly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's how it was for me, because it's like I'll whenever I have gone to the gym, it's I'm always self-conscious looking at like there's other people staring at me or like judging me, stuff like that. But then also when I'm like trying to like build up with somebody else to like kind of get, have somebody else to build interest and keep that motivation going. But
Mm-hmm.
then it's like you're kind of getting critiqued on everything you do, at least on my experience. And it's always been a big motivation killer. So that's why, like, my mentality going in was just, I'm going to focus on what's comfortable for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing like all these extravagant things, and I wasn't even doing the regular like 3 sets of 10, 5 sets of 10. What I actually did, and I got this idea from my older brother because he really caught me onto it, and I like it a lot. Is that I work out almost like a pyramid. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I have a few core workouts that I like the most, so I incorporate that into every exercise. That's typically like deadlift, rows, and bench press, and I'll start from like 55 pounds and just keep on moving up in 30 to 40 pound increments until I hit my max. And then I'll
Yeah.
go back down. And it's easy, it's comfortable. I could push myself at the pace that I want, and I'm not like doing too much or I'm burning myself out or making it
Mm-hmm.
over complicated, but it's comfortable for me.
No, I think that's the perfect workout for the general populace. And like here I am saying this, don't be dogmatic, but I think it's great because uh if you start at a low weight and then you work up to a heavy one, you're effectively warming up, which a lot
Mhm.
of people skip the warm up, and
That's
that
why I
could
do
get you
it.
injured, right? So I just think it's good for most people because I like personally I don't like warming up either. It's like I just want to get straight to it. So if I think
Yeah.
of doing a pyramid set, coming up and then going back down, it kind of just works the warm up set into it. And
Hmm.
I'm also someone who likes higher frequency. So if you did a pyramid set of deadlifts every day, I don't think that there's anything wrong with it as long as you're not doing multiple pyramid sets. If you did one pyramid set every day at noon or whatever, you would probably be seeing very dramatic improvements in that workout. Um,
Yeah.
so no, I think that's great. And yeah,
Yeah,
I, yeah.
because deadlift, I would say I've never been one to focus on my legs, and I because it's like the typical stigma for men is that you need the upper body, the arms, the chest, the
Yeah.
abs, and everything. So I've always neglected my legs, but I came into this focusing a lot on my legs because I want to build more of my own MMA background,
Hmm.
get more into that because like when I'm at an MMA gym training, it's just harmony. There's no other bullshit or anything like that. It's just like the objectives here and I can do it. But with the deadlift, doing the pyramid workout, I started like 55 pounds and worked my way up. When I first started it, 3 months ago, I started at like 160, 170 pounds as my max. But just doing the pyramid thing, which is just what's comfortable for me, and I'm not like overexerting myself trying to do like a massive weight for multiple sets, multiple reps.
Hmm.
Just doing that pyramid thing, my max and my deadlift actually went from 170 all the way up to 300.
Very nice.
Yeah, and in 3 months too. So that's where I feel like you cut out a lot of the shit that makes it too complicated, or you try to like just oversimplify it too much, and that's where it kills a lot of motivation. But if you just do what's comfortable and do your pace, that's you can still see results.
Very much so. Yeah, we're definitely getting into some workout philosophy here, and my juices are flowing now. But
Same.
um, no, I think the the analogy that I like to use a lot, and if we talk about this a bunch, I always am going to refer back to like what did the cavemen do? What did
Yeah.
primitive people do? Because they were probably dramatically stronger than us
Oh
in
yeah.
every way, and it's just because they did what they had to, right? Um, so I mean, if you think about how hard is it for a newborn baby to like walk, it's literally impossible. They don't have the strength. They have to develop it first.
Hmm.
And that's a pretty dramatic example. But like going from a toddler who's just learning to walk to like now, like we don't think about that as exercise, but it was probably actually like a pretty intense strength feat for a child to take its
Yeah.
first steps and start walking and then
Very
make that
physically demanding.
gradual improvement. Yeah. So just doing small things every day, I think, is one of the best ways to make long-term improvements,
Hmm.
because it's just so widespread right now that you have to go in and destroy yourself every time you work out. Like you're going to go hit back today, and whenever you go out of the gym, you shouldn't be able to flex those muscles. Like they should
Yeah.
just be dead. And I think that gets a lot of people injured, and it makes it just too dramatic of like highs and lows. Like on this day, it's terrible. I hate back day. So like you're gonna skip it, or you go
Yeah.
in there and you just hate it. So then it just lowers motivation overall. But just think about it like, walking a little bit farther every day as a baby. Eventually it's gonna be so second thought that you can go walk a few miles and it's not even something worth considering. So if you just
Yeah.
deadlift a little bit every day, just kind of like how you're doing with the pyramid, um, eventually, if you just do a 1 rep max every day of 300 on the deadlift, in 4 or 5 months, that 300 rep or 300 pound rep is gonna feel like walking. You do it
Yeah.
every day, you're used to it. And that's one of the things with strength too, is it's more about neural pathways and getting the technique down than actual hypertrophy. Those are like two separate avenues that you can travel down. So
Right.
yeah, strength is definitely something that I think can be trained every day, but your CNS can get very taxed if you do multiple sets. Like if you're doing multiple pyramid sets, you're going to tax your CNS, and then the next day you're going to feel like you're have a flu or something. You're just tired. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's why the pyramid thing really works well, because like I only do leg day on Monday, and then Fridays I run. I'm trying to get more cardio in, because I want to be able to do it where I could run multiple miles, like how you're doing it, for example. But I'll do the pyramid. I kind of just apply the pyramid thing to every workout that I do. So I knock out
Yeah.
my leg day on Monday, but then like Tuesday through Thursday, I'll typically do like bench press every day, or like rows, stuff like that. And I just do a pyramid, go up and down. And even on the days where I just feel like absolutely shitty and like no motivation at all, the doing the pyramid helps, because you're not trying to force yourself to do that high weight for that set, for that a fixed amount of set and reps. You're still just doing the pyramid thing that works, what's most comfortable with you, especially if it's just like you're feeling like shit that day and everything. And that's why I like what Joe Rogan said about when he was talking to Jordan Peterson's daughter, when it's like, do you have enough energy to drag yourself to the fridge to get something to eat? Well, then you have enough energy to drag yourself through a 10-minute workout. It doesn't have to be 2 hours long or anything like that. I only work out 30 minutes to an hour, 5 days a
Hmm.
week. And
Yeah.
I'm not like acting like I have like dramatic results, but I have results from it. And I think that's where people will especially be more keen on with trying to keep that motivation going.